Hello everyone, welcome back to the full Jasper Reports course. In today's video, we are going to learn how to export a Jasper report into an HTML file using Java. In the previous videos, we learned how to design Jasper reports, connect reports with MySQL database, add parameters and filters, export reports into PDF file, and preview reports using Jasper Viewer. That is good. But now we will export our report into an HTML file. HTML export is very useful because the report can be opened directly inside any web browser like Chrome, Edge, or Firefox. So let's start step by step. Okay, friends, as you can see, we have already project. There is no need to create any project. We want to convert Jasper reports into an HTML file, and you can create any project also. There is no problem, but we want to use the same project. Only we want to create a new class to convert Jasper reports into an HTML file. We have already one class. This class can convert Jasper reports into a PDF file. As you can see, we established a connection between Java application and MySQL database. Then we have parameters because Jasper reports has parameters like department name and employee name. Then we have report path. As you can see, we have already reports package. Inside that we have employee list.jasper report. Okay. Then we converted Jasper reports into a PDF file. Today, let's create a new class to convert Jasper reports into an HTML file. Okay. But before creating a class, let's expand libraries because this file is very important. We have multiple jars. We have MySQL connector. This connector is very useful because whenever you want to connect with MySQL database, you have to include this jar. Thereafter, we have Jasper reports. All the jars are required because whenever you want to convert Jasper reports into PDF file or into HTML file, you have to include these jars also. But today we want to create only the class because we have already included all the jars like MySQL connectors and Jasper reports jars. There is no need to include these jars once again. Okay, but whenever you want to create a new project from scratch, you have to include these jars also. Okay, let's create a new package. After creating a new package, we want to create a new class to convert Jasper reports into an HTML file. Okay, we want to right click on the source package, then we want to create a new package, for example HTML util. Okay, and here we want to create a new class, for example export report to HTML. Okay, you can use any name, there is no problem. Let's finish that. Okay, as you can see, the class is created successfully and we have an empty class. We have only a package, then we have a simple class. What we will do, first we want to include the required classes and interfaces. Simple. Let's import java.sql.connection, and then we want to import java.sql.driver manager. Thereafter we want to import java.sql.sql exception. Okay, after that let's import java.util.hashmap. Okay, thereafter we want to import net.safe.jasperreports. Then we have engine package. Inside that we have jr exception. Okay, let's find that. After that we want to copy the same package, and here we want to import jasper. Let's import jasper field manager. Okay. Okay, friends, as you can see, we included all the classes and interfaces into our class. Thereafter, what we want to do, we want to establish the connection because we want to fetch data from the database. As you can see, we have Jasper Reports project. Inside that, we have database credentials. We want to copy the same credentials we have, URL, username, and password. We want to copy these credentials. Let's copy that. And here we want to paste that. Okay. Thereafter, what we want to do, we want to copy this also because this can establish the connection between Java application and MySQL database, because here we used the driver manager class. Inside the driver manager class, we have a nice method which is get connection. This get connection method can establish the connection based on the URL, username, and password, because here we have already these credentials like URL, username, and password. Let's copy that. And here what we will do, first we want to define main method, public static void, main string array. Okay, let's define here. Thereafter we want to close that, and here we want to catch SQL exception, for example SQL exception. Okay, so thereafter what we want to do, we want to define hash map to handle parameters, because JasperReports has parameters. Okay, we want to define hash map key string type and value object, for example params equals a new hash map. Let's put parameters. We have params dot put, and here we want to add parameter name. As you can see here, we have param department. Let's add this, and then we want to add values. We want to filter IT department employees. Okay, thereafter we have employee name. We want to copy the same code from another class. Let's use this object. Okay, friends, everything is clear. As you can see, we established a connection. Thereafter, we defined hash map because we have parameters like department name and employee name. And here we filter data based on the IT department. And you can pass any department, there is no problem. So after that, what we will do, we want to define the report path. As you can see, inside the source package, we have a reports package, then we have employee list.jasper. Let's define a simple variable, report path. Here we want to take variable string, for example, path equals, first we have source, then we have reports. After that, we have employee list.jasper. Okay. So thereafter, let's fill the report with data. We have Jasper. We have Jasper print. For example, print equals, we have Jasper field manager. Then we have a method field report. We want to use this overloaded versions that accepts Jasper reports, hash map, which is parameter. Then we have connection, which is database connection. Let's use that. We have, as you can see here, we have a report path, there is no problem. Then we have params. After that, we have link, which is database connection. But we have an error. As you can see, we have an error. And report exception, jar exception must be caught or declared to be true. Let's handle that simple. We want to handle that here. We have jar exception. Okay. As you can see, the error is fixed. There is no problem. Okay, friends. This line is very important because this will read the Jasper file, because here we have employee list.jasper. Then execute the SQL query, pass parameters, because here we specified parameters, feed data from the database, and generate the reports to the end user. Okay, so once the report is generated, the result will be stored inside the Jasper print. That means the object contains the complete generated report. Okay guys, thereafter let's define HTML exporter because we want to export this generated report into an HTML file. Simple, we want to use, HTML exporter. For example, let's add name exporter. You can add any name, there is no problem. Let's initialize that. Let's initialize that. Okay friends, thereafter let's specify the input. We have exporter dot set export input. Let's initialize simple export input, and here we want to pass print because the complete result stored in print variable. Thereafter what we want to do, first we want to specify the output. For that we want to create variable, for example string output report equals, we want to specify for example source. Inside that, let's create a new package. We want to create a new package, for example HTML reports. Okay, let's specify that, for example HTML reports. Thereafter we want to create file name, for example employee list.html. Okay, so after that let's specify the output also. Simple, we have exporter dot set export output. Let's initialize new simple export new HTML export output. To that we want to pass output report. Okay friends, as you can see, we specified the input and we got the values or result from the print variable. Thereafter we specified the result or output. After that, let's export the report into an HTML file. Simple exporter dot, we have export report method. Okay, this can export all the result of the Jasper reports into an HTML file. And finally, what we want to do, we want to display a simple success message. For that we want to use system class println. Okay, and here we want to add a message, for example report has been, let's correct that, report has been exported to an HTML file successfully. Okay, that is good. Let's save the changes. We want to run the application to see the result. So as you can see, we got a message, report has been exported to an HTML file successfully. Let's check the path. We have HTML reports. As you can see, HTML reports created successfully. We have employee list.html. Right click on that. We want to open this file. Okay friends, as you can see, we converted Jasper reports into an HTML file. Okay friends, you can change style of that reports as well because this is not a PDF reports, this is an HTML reports. You can use CSS to change style of that reports. So that was how to export Jasper reports into an HTML file. In the next video, we will learn more advanced Jasper reports features and exports. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next video.